always on the run. I've been looking for someone. Let me tell you something. Phyllis Hyman is my girl, but she could never be the voice.
I don't hear nobody out there.
The new album, Goddess of Love, was released in June. Keeping with the company line, Phyllis acknowledged the boss in its liner notes, saying, "Thank you, Clive Davis. Well, you were right as always." Phyllis also singled out A&R man Jerry Griffith for special praise, one of the few executives at Arista that Phyllis felt was in her corner. Griffith had pitched Phyllis a song by the writing duo of Terry Britton and Graham Lyle. Feeling it wasn't quite right for her, Phyllis passed on What's Love Got to Do with It, the song that launched Tina Turner's solo career into the stratosphere the following year. You must understand that the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. It's only the thrill of boy meeting girl, opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love? Pause. Okay, got to do with it. Pause in the draws. I absolutely feel that Phyllis Hyman would have killed that song. But because she's such a difficult person, she would have had the success anyway. Tina Turner had the discipline to do whatever it took to put herself in a position. Physically, Tina Turner fit the look of the song. Not that Phyllis Hyman is not gorgeous, but Tina Turner comes to the plate already super sexy. The people love her. The rock people loved her. So she was able to work with people like the Rolling Stones. They already loved her. Child, they was probably little boys, looking at her and Ike, rubbing chickens, thinking about getting close to her. So many white men loved her already. All that song did was put her in the place that she already deserved to be. That damn Phyllis Hyman, she was too difficult to keep that success moving. Tina Turner grabbed What's Love Got to Do with It and did exactly what she was told and was riding that wave all the way till the wheels fell off. Phyllis Hyman, baby, she would have killed the song, but she would have also killed the opportunity. Griffith had pitched Phyllis a new song by the writing duo of Terry Britton and Graham Lyle. Feeling it wasn't quite right for her, Phyllis passed on What's Love Got to Do with It, the song that launched Tina Turner's solo career into the stratosphere the following year. As the single went gold for Turner and she picked up a Grammy for Best Pop Performance off of it, Phyllis and Griffith were both deeply disappointed. For Griffith's part, he would soon find redemption at the label with a new discovery. Griffith got his first glance at Whitney Houston in 1980, joining her mother, Cissy Houston, on a number at New York's Bottom Line. She was only 17. Impressed with what he heard and saw, Griffith, nevertheless, felt she wasn't quite ready for the majors. But by late 1982, when he caught her once again performing with her mother, this time at 7th Avenue South, he knew the time for action was now. I was completely floored, he told Billboard. She was mesmerizing. There are dueling versions of how he brought her to Clive's attention. Some accounts cite Clive attending a show at Sweet Waters Supper Club at his insistence, while Griffith himself recalls setting up a showcase for Clive at Top Cat Studio. But no one disputes that Griffith did bring Whitney to Clive's attention. Whitney was no prettier than Phyllis, and arguably no more vocally gifted. No, answer no. Do y'all remember when The Voice, Nippy, was on, the Johnny Carson show, when she had this pink fluffy mohair, a sweater on with shoulder pads this big, and she had like them little pumps on, and this I Want to Dance with Somebody wig, and she hit I found out what I've been missing, always on the run. I've been looking for someone. Let me tell you something. Phyllis Hyman is my girl, but she could never be The Voice. Whitney was no prettier than Phyllis. I would say that Phyllis Hyman did indeed have Whitney with the looks. Not because she light-skinned, but because she just had a more beautiful, visibly pleasing aesthetic. Whitney was no prettier than Phyllis, and arguably no more vocally gifted. But she was young, not yet 20. And Clive saw in her someone he could mold into a superstar. Someone who would play by his rules. Someone who would appreciate both his position in the industry and the benefit of his knowledge and experience. Phyllis, in Clive's mind, was difficult, testy, and unreliable, and she withheld from him the one thing he craved most: respect. These were hard times for Phyllis, but she didn't have to weather them alone. In the liner notes to Goddess, Phyllis acknowledged the companionship of her new beau, though the cryptic message didn't mention him by name. A special thanks to my special friend in Philadelphia who has kept my spirits up and made me happy through the tough times, Phyllis wrote. The special friend was Nate Robinson, an optician Phyllis had met through her road manager, Craig Hintosh. I felt like Nate was a very good spirit, a good human being, recalled Craig. He had a good sense of humor, and physically he was a very handsome guy. He had his own business, and I felt that he would be a good person for Phyllis to meet. Phyllis and Nate hit it off instantly, and soon Phyllis was spending a great deal of time in Nate's West Philadelphia apartment. Okay. Now, what was said about this relationship between Nate and Phyllis was that throughout her issues she had going on financially and creatively, he was a good distraction for her. Okay. But Phyllis could only be diverted for so long. There were still steep expenses, and rent was due in New York each month, even if she wasn't spending much time there. Phyllis was glad, for the most part, to be back on the road and singing her own songs, her favorite dates, jazz joints where there are only 200 or 300 people, and I can feel completely relaxed, where I can be a comic, a dramatic actress, or the consummate singer, but above all else, where I can touch people. I can feed off of them. That's how I get off. On July 6, 1983, Phyllis celebrated her 34th birthday with a lavish party in Philadelphia, attended by such celebrity friends as Patti LaBelle. Nate was by her side throughout the evening in a black tuxedo shirt, white bow tie, and dark oversized sunglasses. Phyllis, who had recently cut her hair dramatically short, was wearing a black jacket over a gold sequined halter top. I told you them boobs good. Great. So she definitely could pull it off. Guests, including her band, staff, and assorted industry friends, partied until the early hours of the morning. The next week, Phyllis was back on the road, but she barely made it there. She had no money, and Sid's wife, Barbara, had to personally loan her $1,275 to enable the tour to continue. Phyllis was growing increasingly unpredictable, partying hard both at home and on the road. Basically, anytime she wasn't in Nate's presence, while she would drink in front of anyone, Phyllis rarely indulged in anything more serious in front of her staff or friends. Now we're getting to the point where we're looking at the South African issue. Remember, South Africa was offering all these people hundreds of thousands of dollars to perform over there, but the performers were like, hell no, we not going over there because we mad at y'all for, what is it, the apartheid? Okay? Honey child, they offered Phyllis Hyman $100,000. She said, oh, I won't do it. Okay, integrity, all right? You know that bitch need the money, but she was like, answer no, I won't do it. Let me tell you who did do it and who suffered extremely behind it. So I was watching a Omar Gooding's interview, and they asked him what was it like being the son of the great Cuba Gooding Sr. He was like, I mean, we was regular. We ain't had no money by the time I came along. Now, Cuba Gooding Jr. Experienced some of that good time money from his father being a part of it. I can't remember the group that he was a part of, but by the time I came along, we was regular. How the offer was given to Cuba Gooding Sr.'s group, they took it, and baby, when they came back home, they dogged that group. So Cuba Gooding Sr.'s group couldn't pay somebody to pay them to perform. Everything went downhill by there. I mean, it's strange in the industry, when you fall off, you fall off. You have that moment that you fall off, and then you can come back as a oldie but goodie group. Omar Gooding said that shiz was rough for him because his father wasn't really there. He was raised by his mother. Phyllis Hyman is working with this lady named Glenda, right? And Glenda is now helping to put Phyllis in a better position financially by finding her bookings all over the world, right? One of the places that Phyllis wanted to go visit and perform was Africa. Phyllis also wanted to find bookings in Africa, but was adamant about not performing in South Africa. She had recently lent her name to the Artists and Athletes Against Apartheid group, which was co-chaired by Arthur Ashe and Harry Belafonte, and felt strongly about the anti-apartheid movement. In 1981, Phyllis had reportedly been offered $100,000 to visit the country and turned it down flat. I could not tour South Africa under any circumstances, she said at the time. I have a moral commitment that supersedes money. All right. Hasta la vista. Phyllis began thinking a little less about her career and focusing more on her love life as Glenda began to take on more responsibility. Things with Nate Robinson were really starting to heat up.
Hollywood, Hollywood,
Lovely white light.